Alright, so I'm back on the 2.5 horsepower Hercules. I've power washed it, degreased it. See, that's about there's some paint there, a little bit there, and a little bit there. That's it. So she's definitely going to be painted. But degreased down to the bare block, and I'm going to hone it out. So not gonna worry about the pitting. I'm gonna hone it, make it till it comes out acceptable, and we'll go from there. If it ends up not having any compression or not enough compression to run, then we'll go from there. But I'm just gonna give it a good hone and see what happens. I've already gone over the cylinder lightly with some Scotch-Brite to get some of the surface rust off. But that's it. Alright, to hone it I'm going to use this cylinder hone. It's a Craftsman cylinder hone. You adjust the pressure on the stones by turning this thumb nut, and you put more tension on the spring there, and it forces these stones out harder. I'm going to crank it all the way up, break the rust off and everything, because at this point the cylinder can't get much worse. So I really want to try to clean it up as best as I can. I'll be using just a hand oiler to oil it, using regular engine oil, and periodically I'll stop honing and use a solvent to blast away the oil, just so I can see my progress. Alright, I've just soaked the cylinder with oil. While you're honing, it's important to keep fresh oil always entering the cylinder. So put the stones in. I'll have to run the drill with one hand and pump the oil with another. I'll try to keep the speed steady. Long way. I'll just give you a quick look. We'll just see what we did so far, just after a few seconds. See how it changed. Alright, I just washed it down with solvent, and you can even see after that couple seconds, you can see the nice bare cylinder there. This will really show you where all the pitting's at. It's going to need a lot more honing than this, but I'll show you what just a little bit will do. And I did have the one thing to note, I did have the drill speed, the RPM too fast, and I wasn't moving in and out quickly enough at that speed. Because you want more of an angle on these the grooves. You can see how they're parallel with the cylinder bore, or I don't know how to say it. They're perpendicular with the cylinder bore. The cylinder bore is running this way, and they're perpendicular with it. You want more of an angle, more of an X shape, not just a clean line all the way around. So I'll do it again and work on it for a while more, and I'll show you what I come up with. Alright, well, after a few minutes, you can see I've established a pretty good crosshatch pattern. Let's see if I can show you. If you look close, see how the lines are at an angle, the grooves, they're at angles at each other like this. Not just concentrically with the bore. Let's see. A little bit of honing really points out all the low spots in your cylinder. This one has a lot of them. Any area that's still dark is a low spot. Let's see, it's all the way around. Like I said, this isn't part of the cylinder here. This top is about the combustion chamber, this 1 inch here. So you can see where the wear starts right there. This dark ring is all lower, only by, thousandths of an inch. Only by a hair. But it's all the way around. But it doesn't matter, because I'm not interested in this top. I'm interested in down here. This is the cylinder that does the work down here. Yeah, I can even feel it with my finger. Come around the other side. You can see I've highlighted the high spots around the pitting. All the silver area you see there is parallel with it itself. It's all the same height. And all the dark area is low. It would take weeks of honing to clean this up. The pits would still be there even, but just to get the majority of it silver down to bare metal would take weeks. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so this is about it for the honing process on this engine. This is as far as I'm going to go. Got a good crosshatch on the cylinder. You can see it's a nice clean looking wall right there. And again, decent over here. You can see where the wrist pin was riding. Now there is no lip where that mark is there. The only reason that it's so clearly defined like that is that there is some low spots around it, which make it stand out a little bit. Let's see, top of our cylinder is rough. Just about every part of this thing is in rough condition, but it's all smooth now, and if you run your hand over it, there's no real defined high spots or steps. It's just these pits. Just the pits. But that's all I'm going to do with it. Any more honing wouldn't make any much of a difference. Honing only takes off microns of material, at least when you do it by hand. And of course, when you're doing it in a machine, you do it to set the absolute bore size. But in this case, with a handheld cylinder hone, you're just doing it to remove glaze and whatnot. But we exposed some fresh metal, which is good. Like I said, this area here is not where the rings ride. Right there, where you can see the pitting noticeably diminishes and stops, that's where the rings end, or that's as low as they come. The piston still does ride over this, but the rings stay up here. I don't usually do compression checks on these engines. Usually the old spin the flywheel and see if it bounces off compression. is the easiest way to do it, and that'll suffice. But I'll be curious just to see how much compression this bore will make. So I'll do a definite compression test on this one, just out of curiosity. I'm pretty confident that it'll run. I don't think it will have, anywhere near the power that it would have if the cylinder was in better shape. But that's what I have. That's what this engine has. You gotta play the hand you're dealt, I guess. Alright, in the last part of this video, I'd like to mention and say thanks to YouTuber 88501. That's OH1, not 01. 88501. This here is my original governor gear for this 2.5 horsepower Hercules. It's rough. It's got some serious pitting everywhere. Serious wear. You just can't appreciate how bad condition, the poor state that this gear is in until you look at what he sent me. This is a used Hercules governor gear from a 1.5 horsepower or a 2 horsepower, I forget what he said, but they are identical. The same part number for both engines. But just when you take a close look at it, you see how those teeth mesh up, how bad this gear is compared to this one. This has no rust pitting on it. You can see in the teeth it's got some very slight wear, but of course it's probably 80 years old, remember, so that's not a big deal. But it is in excellent condition, by any means, not even compared to my original. Just it's in excellent condition, and it'll certainly make it run quieter once I have it running. So, just like to say thanks to him. He shipped it to me very quickly. It's going to work out perfect.